नाजरीन, कश्मीर लाइफ के साइंस टॉक्स में आपका खुशामदीद। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, इस सीरीज में हम कश्मीर के साइंटिस्ट से बात करते हैं जो डिफरेंट लैब्स में, डिफरेंट कंपनीज में, मुख्तलिफ एरियाज में काम करते हैं। साइंटिस्ट्स या जो अप्लाइड साइंस भी बाद में होता है, उसमें ये हमेशा इनकी प्रॉब्लम रहती है कि ये या तो लैब्स में रहते हैं या तो मशीनों के साथ बिजी रहते हैं और उनको कभी मौका भी नहीं मिलता कि ये करते क्या है। लेकिन ये हमारे लिए जानना ज़रूरी है कि हमारे साइंसदान कहाँ कहाँ हैं और क्या क्या कर रहे हैं। जैसा कि नाजरीन आप जानते हैं कि ये जो पूरी साइंस है, साइंस का महवर तो बिल्कुल पूरी कायनात है, लेकिन प्राइमरी जो साइंस का फोकस है वो इंसान की ज़िंदगी है और उसके हवाले से तहकीक करना, बीमारियों का उनका इलाज ढूंढना। और जो ये पूरा पिरामिड है उसमें एक तो क्लिनिशियंस होते हैं, सर्जन्स होते हैं, या फाइनली फार्मा सेक्टर होता है जहां हम ये दवाइयाँ बनाते हैं। तो साइंटिस्ट्स के कहने पे ही इस पर रिसर्च होता है। तो आज हमने इस सिलसिले में दावत दी है डॉक्टर अरशद साहब को। डॉक्टर साहब, आपका खुशामदीद कश्मीर लाइफ के शो में।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
तो नाजरीन, डॉक्टर अरशद साहब हैं सन फार्मा, जो इंडिया में सबसे बड़ी कंपनी है फार्मा सेक्टर में। उसमें जो वर्टिकल है बायो अवेलेबिलिटी और बायो इक्विवेलेंस, ये उसको हेड करते हैं। इस सेक्शन का काम ये होता है कि ये देखना कि क्या वाकई जो ड्रग ये किसी को देने जा रहे हैं वो उन तमाम मेयार पे ठीक उतरता है जो ह्यूमन बॉडी की रिक्वायरमेंट है। तो डॉक्टर साहब, आपका खुशामदीद। लेकिन शुरू हम इस बात से करेंगे कि अभी दुनिया कोविड के का जो दूसरा फेज है उससे बाहर पूरी तरह से नहीं आए हैं, अभी भी इन्फेक्शन चल रहा है। तो ये जो कोविड एक्सपीरियंस रही फार्मा सेक्टर ने, इस हवाले में बड़ा पैनिक था। हुकूमतें बिल्कुल बहुत परेशान थी। हर जगह हर शख्स का एक ही मकसद था, एक ही दुआ थी कि कहीं किसी तरह से कोई दवा आ जाए। तो वो जो एक्सपीरियंस आपके फार्मा सेक्टर में थी वो कैसी थी और अब कितने पैनिक की थे?
First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Actually, when this pandemic started, obviously, the same way the scientists in pharma sector, we were also panicked. But we grasped that opportunity from this situation. The opportunity was, I remember, there was all the sectors were closed. I'm in research, so I received a call from one of our executive directors. He told me that, Arshad, we are working on some anti-dengue project. So is it possible for you during this pandemic, when all the labs are closed, is it possible for you to help us in doing some work on this project? Because we have we have done some clinical trial wherein we have collected some samples. You have to get those samples from Ahmedabad to Gurgaon, where our lab is. But I don't know how to do this. Everything is closed. And then followed by, you have to go for the pharmacokinetics of the molecule. I will just explain it to you afterwards what's pharmacokinetics. So, I just picked my phone. We all were under curfew. It was a curfew-like situation. So I picked the phone. I called to my colleagues, my teammates. I explained my condition and the condition of SUN PHARMA to them. So I told them there's an opportunity and let's grasp this opportunity. There was a little bit reluctance from people. There was a reluctance, in fact, from my inside. Then when we started working, we talked to some people who started helping us. Some people gave us ambulance to ferry the samples. Some people gave us approvals and told us that how to take approvals during this pandemic situation. We took approvals, we took ambulances, we spent a little bit extra money to pay to ferry those samples. And then, things went well. We came to labs. We started working despite everyone staying at home. We were working in the labs. And the results were a little bit satisfactory. That gave us a confidence that even though we should be also staying at home, but there was a requirement from the scientist background. With scientist background, there was a requirement from our side that, okay, doctors are in the hospitals, nursing staff is in the hospitals, and we should also do something in the lab. At least we should give something to the society. So those opportunities started with that feeling. That reluctance went over. We were given curfew passes from our company. And then we started coming to labs. In fact, we started working in labs for 18 hours. And that journey started. In the meanwhile, also, as such, the growth of the company, the growth of the market increased for the pharma company. And there was a lot of pressure on us. And there were a lot of clinical trials for which I was responsible. And we have to stop those clinical trials and then see other ways that how to continue those trials. There were some studies going on in US also, wherein we received some messages from US government that you cannot do in US, and then we have to move those projects to India. Again, it gave us an opportunity to save a lot of money in India. There was a huge project wherein that project was supposed to be completed in 15 crore rupees, and then it gave us an opportunity to do study in India with just 2 crore rupees. We saved 12 crore rupees. So on one side, yes, we were in a pain, but on the other side, there are a lot of opportunities. There were business opportunities, there were learning opportunities, there were opportunities wherein we could do something for the society as a whole. And when I talked to my team in the meanwhile, when this COVID was going on, and they were told to come to office, first few days they were reluctant, but over a period of time, they were feeling happy that at least we are doing something to overcome the situation. So over a period of time, we managed very well. We tried to manage all these things, like the doctors at the initial stage, they were not able to manage the COVID situation per se to the patients. Same way, we were not able to manage initially, but over a period of time, we also learned how to manage people, how to manage clinical research, how to manage doing studies within COVID situation, and how to get all those approvals done, how to get business out of those opportunities, how to help society. All were learnings over a period of time.
डॉक्टर अरशद साहब, मैं एक बात आपसे जरूर पूछना चाहूंगा इसी के फॉलोअप में। हम एक ऐसी दुनिया में रहते हैं जहां हमारा दिमाग तो काम करता ही है, लेकिन वी हैव क्रिएटेड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जो फोरकास्टिंग का काम करता है। We all know that India is the capital of all kind of vaccines. So much, there's a huge facility in India. But what is your forecasting system suggesting us about the possibility of further mutations of a virus that actually जिसने 2 साल humanity के ज़ाया कर दिए?
One thing we should understand that everything, wherever there's a peak, whether it is a Mount Everest, whether it is our age, whether it's our strength, everything has a peak. And then after peak, there's a declining phase. Same thing is happening with the virus. So if we talk of HIV, a couple of decades back when it was there, so people were actually afraid of HIV. But today, if you can see, because of many things, one of them is mutation, but second is that now we know that virus. We have a lot of combo products. We have a lot of products in market with which we are fighting the HIV. Same thing is happening with COVID. There are 3 things happening with COVID. Number 1, with mutation, there's a resistance coming, that strain is getting a little bit slower. Second important thing is that drugs are getting developed. But third important thing is that we are now ready. We know how to manage this virus. So these 3 things are helping us to overcome all this problem of virus.
जिंदगी पूरी मॉलिक्यूल ही है, बुनियाद तो वही है, लेकिन मॉलिक्यूल्स में पर बात करने से पहले हम ये जरूर जानना चाहेंगे कि डॉक्टर अरशद साहब का सफर कैसा रहा, उनकी लर्निंग कर्व क्या थी, उनके चैलेंजेस क्या रहे, बेंड्स कितने सख्त थे, और हाउ यू मैनेज्ड देम. You are heading a major section in one of the major companies in India, and that too in pharma sector. तो बताएं हमारे नाजरीन को अपना सफर, अपनी जर्नी.
Well, it's an interesting question. I was born in a village called Duabga. It's around 50 kilometers from Srinagar. In fact, 5 kilometers from Sopore town. My education was mainly in a village school till 10th. And during my time, when it was in 80s, so English medium was far off. And even though my relatives were in Srinagar, but my education per se was in Urdu medium. But coming from a family which has a very good education background, like my grandfather was a headmaster, my uncles, one of them is advocate, one of them is engineer, one of them is a professor in Kashmir University. My mamas, one of them is zonal education officer. So I came from a background with an education background. So always there was a pressure from the family that you have to perform and you have to come up with your own. So you have to work very hard. So and when the situation in Kashmir was not sound enough for education, so my father he tried to pursue me that you should go outside Valley, even though I was not ready. But I somehow came and started my B Farm in New Delhi, Jamia Hamdard. It was, it was a very shock for me coming from a paradise to something called hell, because my session started in May, June. The temperature in Kashmir at that time was hardly 30, and then I moved to 46 with no friends, nothing. And believe me, for around 1 year, I was praying to Allah that please help me to go back to my hometown. But I was very afraid of my grandfather, my father, because as I told you, that there was a lot of pressure with respect to that background from my family. Somehow I managed those 2 years, and then I got used to it. From third year onwards, I actually started my journey. I started reading a lot. I used to read for 18 hours a day, not just not to just qualify for some exam. Believe me, the intention was not to qualify for an exam. The intention was to get as maximum knowledge as possible. So after I completed B Farm, I got an opportunity to join in Ranbaxy. At that time, Ranbaxy was a #1 pharma company in India. I got a job opportunity in the same department where I am now heading. The job opportunity was just a trainee chemist with hardly a few thousand rupees salary. And I was probably the first person in R&D with just graduation, because they selected me based on my knowledge about the field. And then over a period of time, they helped me to pursue more education, like master's degree. I did it from BITS Planning. And then they also, my boss at that time, was a very, very wonderful person. He told me that, Arshad, if you want to grow, why did you do for PhD also? Then I did my PhD from Ranchi, which is a very prestigious institute. So Mr. Masood Saab, one thing I want to tell you here: for gaining something, you have to lose something. So one thing which I have obviously lost was indeed Kashmir and my family. Second important thing was, even in my my company, I used to work for sometimes 36 hours a stretch, 24 hours, 36 hours. I used to sleep in my lab. I used to work to become #1. You can find a lot of articles of mine in LinkedIn wherein I have mentioned that what should you do to motivate yourself. One is self-motivation, and other is then how to become #1. So those articles are some of my journey stories, which may inspire all of you if people get an opportunity. And then this Ranbaxy was taken over by SUN PHARMA, and SUN PHARMA retained some of the good talent, especially in R&D. And I was one of them who was retained. And then finally I became HOD of one particular function, and then finally I was given this portfolio of heading this global function of whenever all these clinical studies are ongoing in world for SUN PHARMA. So I'm responsible for those studies. I think hardworking, #1. There should be something in you that no, I have to do something better than others. I have to be #1. And third important thing is that self-motivation. Nobody is going to motivate you. It's you who is going to self-motivate you. I think these few things helped me to overcome all the hurdles and to become a leader in one of the prestigious organizations of not only India, of world.
Dr. Arshad साहब, ये बात बिल्कुल सही है कि अगर if you enjoy, ये बहुत किस्मत वाले लोग होते हैं जिनको वही काम करने का मौका मिलता है जो वो करना चाहते हैं. कुछ लोग, मैंने तो PhD केमिस्ट्री सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में देखे, तो वैसे वर्सा, मतलब जो लोग जहां नहीं होने चाहे वो वहीं हैं. तो बहरहाल ये किस्मत की बात है. लेकिन बात को आगे बढ़ाने से पहले डॉक्टर साहब ये बता दीजिएगा, आपने बहुत ही शानदार इंस्टीट्यूशन से आप अपना PhD किया, तो PhD में आपने किया क्या और what were the takeaways from your research?
I'm in pharmacokinetics, so let me give you a little bit introduction about what's pharmacokinetics. Pharmacology is a branch of pharmacy which has two sub-functions. One is pharmacodynamics. Pharmacodynamics is what drug does to the body. That's how much clinical response. For example, we are taking paracetamol, and then how much pain in the head is removed by this paracetamol is pharmacodynamics. This dynamics. Now the question is, what is body doing to the drug? What is body doing to the drug is called pharmacokinetics. So that's where the role of people like me comes. So in order to develop a drug, we should know where is drug going in the body from stomach, it goes to the blood circulation, and then it gets distributed to different site of action using some proteins like albumin, globulin, and then followed by there's a metabolism like phase 1 metabolism, phase 2 metabolism, and then finally it gets excreted from the body. That's called absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. All these 4 things are called as pharmacokinetics. So I have done my specialization in pharmacokinetics from Mr. Ranchi, and my job profile since last 27 years is also in pharmacokinetics. So I am expert in pharmacokinetics only in SUN PHARMA.
ये पूछना चाहूँगा मतलब दैट इज योर एक्सपर्टीज, वही मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि जब आपने पीएचडी किया, पीएचडी में हमेशा नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि ह्यूमैनिटीज इज अ स्लाइटली इज अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ फील्ड. यू read 1,000 books and you create one great book, but normally science is slightly different. You spend 10 years, 15 years on a research project and then write one piece of paper that actually changes the discourse of particular thing. So what were you hunting for in PhD, and what actually you did?
In PhD, my project, my understanding was that I should do something again same which is related to my field. It was pharmacokinetic studies was related to my field, so I chose a drug wherein I want to find out that is there any impact of food, of different types of food, and as well as milk on its absorption. So whenever we take a tablet, it gets dissolved in stomach, and then from stomach either it will get excreted as such, or it has to get absorbed. What happens to the drug? Different drugs, either the absorption is enhanced or suppressed by specific type of food. So what I thought was that, okay, let me take non-veg versus veg. So I took non-veg food and then vegetarian food and see that what's the impact of non-veg and veg on the absorption of the drug. And then within non-veg and veg, I took high-fat meals and low-fat meals. So in high-fat meals, like a lot of butter or butter chicken was given to the human subjects, and in low-fat veg, less butter chicken was given, and then only like egg was given. And then I also checked milk. Like, if you I don't know whether you are from village or not, there's a very myth in a village. Whenever an antibiotic is given, and they usually say that give this patient with milk. And so I want to understand that whether this milk having a lot of calcium and proteins, whether it's having any impact on the absorption of the specific drug. So I took an example drug, used the non-veg and veg meals with non-veg low fat, veg low fat, non-veg high fat, non-veg low fat, and milk, and then gave it to 12 subjects, 12 human beings. In those 12 human beings, the drug was given at different occasions with all these meals, and then samples were collected from them. Samples were analyzed using a sophisticated instrument called liquid chromatography mass spectrometry to ensure that whatever accuracy, whatever quantitation we are doing, it's very accurate. Then I have to check that what was the exact absorption with respect to that drug with all these meals, whether there was any impact, and if there was an impact, why? So I found out one important thing, that at least for my drug, milk was having a little bit more impact. So absorption was getting enhanced. So I found out some principles also that why it's getting enhanced. But between veg and non-veg, and between low-fat diet and high-fat diet, I couldn't find any much difference. But then that was the drug which I chose. But there are multiple drugs which I have worked on during my last 27, 26 years in this current role. I found a lot of drugs, some of them getting impacted with non-veg, some of them getting impacted with veg, some of them getting even impacted with the presence of some specific oil also. With that, the concentration in the body sometimes goes to double and sometimes goes to half also. So we have to restrict those diets when we are giving those particular drugs to a particular patient and telling them that, okay, don't use this specific meals when you are taking your drug. So that was my understanding from that PhD program.
So that is very interesting. It is not, it seems so ordinary, but it is not. Can I ask you then that since genetic scientist was telling me that everybody knows his own biochemistry. When somebody in Kashmiri says "Meshi vaya," Yuchun vaya, so that means he's talking about his own biochemistry. So, is that the conventional wisdom, by and large, correct that milk improves in better absorption of drugs? Number one, and number second, are we moving towards a regime of, for clinicians in which they will have to essentially tell a patient that I'm giving you this particular drug, kindly refrain from this particular food till your course is complete?
Exactly. When we are working on generic products, or in fact, in some innovative products also, when we are working, we have to see impact of some of the drugs which are commonly used. Like, for example, we try to see that if there's impact of applesauce, because applesauce is usually used by US population, and most of the studies are done for US population. We also see if there is any impact of curd. We also see if there's any impact of apple juice. We also see what's the impact of same non-veg. We always see these things, but because we are in pharmacokinetics now, if we now I will come to the second segment. Now, if I tell to the management tomorrow that, okay, we have developed this drug, please go into the market, but tell to doctors that this particular drug cannot be used with this meal. What is he going to tell me? That, Arshad, am I going to give you salary for telling me these things? No, I need a drug with some modifications which should not be impacted by these meals. So that's why my marketing people should go to the doctor, telling them that, doctor, this is my drug, and please tell patient you take it as such without any impact. That's also my role. So now you understand, I have business also. I cannot tell to management that, okay, your sales team, your marketing team should go to the doctor, telling them that please restrict patients with this particular drug. No. So during my research, what we have to do is, if there's any impact on our particular drug with some particular meal, we want to get rid of that, because ultimately we are working for the business. We are working for the organization which is in business. I hope you're understanding my point.
No, I understand it better. I also believe in the fact that in schools, you and me, we all were told that Zarurat Ijad ki maa hai.
Exactly.
But we live in a world where it is inversely proportional to realities on ground.
Absolutely.
So that is correct. But yes, my question is more about ethical part of it. But it may take some time, because human mind is still in the evolution, and businesses are usually taking it their own time. But before concluding this conversation, एक बात तो मैं जरूर पूछना चाहूँगा कि by and large people talk about, आपने स्पेयर किया इतना टाइम हमारे लिए, बट ब्रीफली मैं आखिर में एक सवाल पूछूंगा छोटा सा ही, कि मतलब ये जो फार्मा सेक्टर है, हमारे यहाँ भी फार्मेसी पढ़ाई जाती है एट कॉलेज लेवल इन अ कपल ऑफ प्लेसेस एंड एट द यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल एज वेल, जहाँ से बहुत अच्छे नाम जो हमें देखने को मिलते हैं मार्केट में. बट व्हाट आर द सनराइज एरियाज विद इन द फार्मा सेक्टर, जहाँ हमारे बच्चे कोशिश करें कि वो थोड़ा सा उस तरफ देखें एज कैरियर?
Masood Saab, just maybe 1 or 2 months back, I gave a presentation, a talk on career opportunities in pharmaceutical industry. It was to all the pharmacy students of Kashmir University. There are nearly 250 or 300 participants, and I gave them all the opportunities which are in pharma sector. Pharma sector, we have research and development, we have marketing and sales, we have production, we have even active pharmaceutical ingredient division, we have regulatory affairs. It all depends on the person. Every section or every function is flourishing in India. It is growing. So a person has to have dedication and sincerity. Wherever he or she will go, they will have to work very sincerely to flourish. Like I'm in R&D, does not, and I've done very well, does not mean that the person who's in manufacturing or in marketing or in sales or in BD, business development, or in AP have not done well. They have also done well. Only those people who have actually worked very sincerely and dedicatedly. So my request to all of the pharmacy students is, or the persons who want to pursue pharma career or any career, whatever profession you will choose for yourself, please put your sincerity and dedication, because those are the only things, and focus on your career path. Wherever you will go, if you are number one, you will grow. If you are number 2, you will not grow.
डॉक्टर साहब, नाजरीन तो सुन रहे हैं को भी, मुझे भी, लेकिन मैं थोड़ा एक राइडर इसमें डाल दूंगा. पीपल ये लोगों पर छोड़ देंगे, नाजरीन पर छोड़ देंगे, वो कितना सीरियस ले लेंगे कि आप वही काम करो जो आप करना चाहते हो. अगर आप नहीं करना चाहते हो तो आप को नंबर 1 पोजीशन भी दे देंगे तो आप रिटेन नहीं कर पाएंगे. दैट इज द बिग फंडा. बट नाजरीन, आपने देखा कि आज हमने फार्मा सेक्टर की बात, मतलब कि एक बहुत ही अहम एक्सपर्ट से बात की है जो कश्मीर ने प्रोड्यूस किया है. आप जानते हैं कि हम सिर्फ वाजवाल खाने वाले लोग ही नहीं हैं. हम हर साल 1000 करोड़ रुपए के आसपास का रकम सिर्फ दवाइयों पर खर्च करते हैं. तो डॉक्टर साहब ने जो बताया अपनी जर्नी के बारे में और अपने प्रोफेशन के बारे में, hope it gives us some kind of information, some kind of detail, जिसको हम खुद अपने जहनों में एनालाइज करके आगे बढ़ेंगे. डॉक्टर साहब, you spend so much of time for us to talk to and to interact with a wider audience. We are so thankful to you. और हमें भरोसा है कि आने वाले दिनों में हम कोई ना कोई मौका ढूंढ ही लेंगे डॉक्टर अरशद साहब से बात करने के लिए. डॉक्टर साहब, so nice of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.